So I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. I went to drag some people into the place, into the room. So let's hope and see if I'm going to have more people, because we need to spread this word. We need to speak it. As many as we hear our voice, as many as we need to project our voice into the cosmos, so that a lot of people will not go into marriage incomplete, because you can't go into marriage expecting your partner or expecting your spouse to complete you. That's a very risky and a very dangerous move, because number one, you're not half, you're whole. You're a full human being, and you can't. And the only way you can be full in you have to, first, you have to know, you have to understand that you're complete as a person, as a single person, you're complete. Once you're fulfilling purpose, that is it. Once you're fulfilling purpose, once you are making mark, welcome to the person that joined us. And we are greeting you on the, can you greet us on the charts? That way you can greet us so that we know. So once you're fulfilling purpose, once you are making impact on earth, once you're doing that which God has called you to do, once you are, touching lives, once you're making changes, once you're transforming people, yes, that is it. Once you're transforming people, you are whole. So it's better for you to get into marriage complete. It's better for you to get into marriage with something you are doing. Gone are the days whereby women we just, are just trained to, give birth, take care of the house and all, assist their husbands. Yes, you should assist your husband, but I opine all the time. I'm of the firm belief that a woman, you should have something you're doing, whether in ministry or as a career. So depending on your dynamics, depending on how it's working for you, it's better for you to have something you're doing. Yes, have something that you can do or you can fall back to. If you're, assuming your husband is a preacher, and you're coming into the marriage with, you don't have knowledge of how to be a preacher's wife, how to be the wife of a pastor, how to be the wife of an evangelist, you're not going to, in fact, you will feel so alone in that marriage. You feel so down, you feel so, only you in that marriage. So it's better for you to have something you're doing, better for you to have something that something that you can bring to the table before you settle down, so that you don't just exist or just, occur. For lack of a better word, you don't just occur. So that is actually the point. That is actually the point. So you have to prepare. You have to prepare for your marriage. Yeah. Even if you're not getting married soon, even if you're not getting married this year, you have to prepare for your marriage, so that when it's time for you to settle down, it's not going to come to you as a shock or come to you as something what you're now seeing will be different. So you have to be very, very prepared for that. So let's go into the questions as we hope for others to join. Now, the first question on my list is, what does it really mean to wait on God during a season of singleness? What does it mean to wait on God as a single? We see singleness, many people, the culture anyway, see single people as incomplete or being as if something is wrong with them, basically. As if they're incomplete and something is wrong that needs to be fixed. So that's why the society is so big on getting married. As you're getting old, how old are you? Get married, your mates are getting married, this, that. So what does it really mean to wait on God during this season of singleness? Like I always say, singleness is a season, and as a season, it will come, it will stay, and it will pass. That is just it. That's how beautiful seasons are. So the season will come, stay, and pass. So if you decide that the single season, you're going to make a big deal out of it, and feel bad, feel down, and all, you're just changing yourself. Actually, you can't maximize that season if you feel that something is wrong with you as a single. So what it means to really wait on God during the season of singleness is to trust His timing. Yes, God is our author, He's our creator, and He's also the finisher and the perfecter. So you trust His timing because His timing is always correct. His timing is always perfect. Yes, His timing, nobody can talk about it. His timing is always perfect. So you trust His timing and believe in Him. That's it. Believe in Him and don't stress yourself. Don't bother so much about it. So you trust His timing, give yourself to service, give yourself to growth, and also prepare for your marriage as you wait. Even when God has not shown you the person that you're going to marry, or when you've not seen the person you're going to marry, maybe you've not seen Mr. Right or you've not seen Miss Right. So you wait on God, trust His timing, put all your hope on Him. Yes, trust His timing, believing that His timing is perfect as you move to growth, as you move to service, and as you prepare yourself for what you are waiting for. So you can't just be asking God for something and you're not preparing for it. So that miracle you're asking God for, are you ready for it? That is the question you should ask yourself. That prayer you're asking God to answer you, are you ready for the answer? If God gives you the answer now, do you have the capacity to hold it? Do you have the container to hold that? That's what you should ask yourself all the time, at all times. So whenever it feels as if what you're praying for is not forthcoming, what you're praying for, there is no answer yet, check very well if you're ready for the answers to the prayer. So check very well. So check very well if you're ready for the answers to the prayer. So as you pray and trust God during this season of singleness, make sure that you're developing yourself. Make sure that you're going after service. Make sure that you're going after purpose and not just wasting that time and just sitting and doing nothing. So you have to be very, very prepared for this season. So what it truly means to wait on God as a single is to trust His timing. That's just the simplest answer, to trust His timing. Trusting that His timing is always perfect. Trusting that His timing is always perfect. Welcome to the room. Yeah, so you trust God at all times, no matter how, difficult or how unusual or how long the what you're asking God for is taking, the time is taking, maybe it's taking too long. Yes, you just have to trust His timing. Trust His timing because His timing is perfect. And you can't move faster than God. You can't move faster than God. You can't run. There's a saying in my culture, say you can't run faster than your shadow. So you can't move faster than God because He sees the end from the beginning. Yeah, so He knows what will happen if you rush into that marriage that you're urging. And there's one thing with God. Once you're urging, you're so desperate now. Yeah, you're so desperate for something. You're so desperate to receive something from Him. Yeah, you want that thing by all means. You want it now. You want it immediately. To get to a point, God will just leave you. He will just leave you because what do you want Him to do? He will just leave you because you can't bend God's hand. You can't twist His hand to do what you want to do. There's a place in Ezekiel, he says that if the children of Israel are coming to Him with idols in their hearts, and that He's going to answer them according to the idols in their heart. So if you're coming to God with an idol in your heart, if you're coming to God with a premonition, with with an answer already. He's going to give you the answer according to what is in your heart. So you trust his timing, trust him wholly, trust him totally, and lean on him. That is the only way you can, you can have answers to your prayer. So that is the way, that's what it means to truly wait on God, by trusting him and trusting his timing. Now the second question here is, how can a single person stay content without feeling left behind or feeling overlooked? How can a single person stay content, stay satisfied, without feeling left behind or without feeling overlooked? Now, the first way is that you have to understand that contentment comes from within. That is, satisfaction comes from within. It's not something that comes as a result of what you have. If your contentment, if your satisfaction is hinged on what you have, is hinged on your possession, or hinged on what you can do, if anything happens along the line and you lose it, you're going to have problem. We have an example of Job in the Bible. Job had, the Bible recorded that he was a very rich man. In fact, he was among the richest in the land of Uz. But along the line, he lost everything. He lost down to his children. He lost everything. But in the midst of that loss, in the midst of that situation, he didn't lose he didn't lose himself. He said, God bringeth and God taketh. Naked I came, naked I will go. So, because his contentment is not hinged on what he has. Yes. His contentment is hinged on who he knows. It's hinged on, within. It's hinged within in his heart. So, you have to understand that contentment is not as a result of what you have. Rather, it's a result of who you know. It's a result of you focusing on God, focusing on your Creator. Because one thing that once you are having an issue or having a problem and you focus on God, you focus on your Creator, you're going to have answers. You're going to have answers. It might not come the way you expected or when you expected, yes, but the answers will definitely come. Yes, answers will definitely come. So understand that your contentment comes from within. Understand that your contentment comes from an understanding of, who you are in Christ, of your focus on God. Yes, your focus on God. And understanding that your present, that's your now, is the best time of your life. Understanding that your now is best time is key for you to achieve contentment. I have a video on contentment for singles, how to stay contented as a single, on the channel. So do well to watch the video. They are in 2 parts. So you watch the first one and also watch the second one. So that's the only way you can stay contented. Understand that everything you have is from God. Yes, your focus on Him. Focus on Him. And also celebrate the freedom and the flexibility. Welcome to the room. Can we know you? Can you greet us in the comment section? So, singleness comes with a lot of flexibility and a lot of freedom. So once you understand that, always remember that as a single, that is when you can even be free. That's the freest time for you. You do what you want to do, eat what you want to eat, go out when you want to, where you want to go to, if you want to go to. You have that freedom. You're not really accountable or responsible for people. Maybe you're accountable to your parents and accountable to God. So so you enjoy the freedom and the flexibility that comes with singleness, because many married people, they don't have that freedom, especially those that have children. Even some that have some kind of demanding husbands, they don't have that freedom. They don't have that freedom. So it's better for you to make use of this season as a single, maximize it to the highest, so that when you get into marriage and you don't feel tight, feel somehow that you didn't do much before you settle down. Because when you marry and family responsibilities start, and you closed from work and you decided to hang out with the boys, and Mrs. will start calling you, where are you? Are you not coming back today? Please, when you're coming back, branch at that supermarket and help us get 2 loaves of bread, 1 milk, one this thing, this that. So, but if you're alone, if you're single, you go home when you want to, when you want to go buy what you want to buy. There's nobody to send you on an errand. So you enjoy the freedom and the flexibility that comes with it. Yes. And above all, as a single that has an understanding of contentment, make sure that you're going after purpose. Make sure that you're going after destiny. Make sure that you're going after transformation. Because it's not just okay for you to just, exist, waste about 20-something years of your life just for you to prepare for marriage. Gone are those days whereby mothers are training their daughters for marriage. No. If marriage is your goal, if marriage is what you're looking forward to in life, you're going to have a very big problem. Yes. So marriage should not be your goal. Your goal should be pleasing God. And you understand or you believe that you can please God through your marriage. So marriage should not just be your goal or what you're expecting or what you wish for. Yeah, it's good for you to wish for marriage, wish for a good marriage, but that should not be your goal. So while you're waiting, while you're still single, you go after purpose, you go after destiny, you go after transformation, put yourself into service, put yourself into community, put yourself into doing things, professional development, personal development. You grow yourself, you grow, yeah, you mature yourself. So you try as much as possible to do the much you can do as a single person, because we have examples in the Bible. We have Paul the apostle. He lived a life of a single, very fulfilling life, that he even said that he wished other people were like him. So that is it. So you go after purpose as you're waiting. You be contented as you're waiting, and move forward. Move forward as a single. You don't just stay and wait and expect things to to magically occur. So you move towards purpose, move towards development, move towards growth. Yeah, move towards growth. So that is the way you can stay contented, by having that understanding that your contentment or your satisfaction or everything about you comes from God. So you have to settle that inside of you, that yes, I am first a human born on earth to fulfill purpose. That is it. So you're a human born on earth to fulfill purpose. You are not just a human born on earth to marry and have children. So your purpose might be getting married, right? And raising the next generation. In fact, that is every person's purpose. Yeah, getting married. If it's in the books for you to marry, because it's not everybody that will marry. Jesus said it, that everybody will not marry. There are some people that they have it as a call, that is a ministry for them. Yes, they won't marry. They won't marry. And we see examples in the Bible. They didn't marry before they died. So that is it. So you understand that everything about you, your contentment, your totality, yourself is hinged in God. Yes, it's hinged in God, and not just on what you have or what you can do. Yes, so that is the answer to that question. So you can stay contented, or you can do away with that feeling of being left behind or feeling of being overlooked by putting all your hope and all your trust in God. It boils down to the first question we asked as well. Putting all your hope and all your trust in God. Let me take a sip of water. I don't know where my water bottle is. Now let's go to the next question. The next question is, what are practical ways to maintain sexual purity in today's hyper-sexualized culture? Yes. So the culture we have now is the culture of, I call it culture of hookup culture. So The question is, what are practical ways for you to maintain sexual purity? Because that's the goal. The goal is to maintain sexual purity because you are a child of God, born to fulfill purpose. And you can't fulfill purpose when you're sexually impure, when you're living in sin. Yeah, quote me anyway. You can't fulfill purpose when you're living in sin. So you have to be sexually pure, not just sexually, now, not just physically now, even in your mind. So the ways you can maintain sexual purity in today's the way you can maintain sexual purity in today's hyper-sexualized culture, in today's hookup culture, is the first way, which is the foundation, is that you should remember your identity and your purpose. Remember the reason that you are created. Remember the reason God placed you on earth. Once you have that in mind, once you remember that, once it's always at the front of your mind, not back of your mind now, once it's always at the front of your mind, your identity and your purpose, you will try as much as possible with everything that is within you to live a sexually pure life. Yes, you try with everything that is within you to live a sexually pure life. So you understand, remember your identity and your purpose. Remember your reason for being created. Remember why God called you. And also live a life that is pointing towards your identity, pointing towards your purpose. If God called you to minister to children, yes, if God called you to minister to children, I'm not saying that God cannot use someone that is maybe that fell into sin and repented. God can use you. But it's better for you to be sexually pure. While you're waiting, it's better for you to be sexually pure. So if you know yourself, you have to, and as we are now, we know ourselves, we know our weaknesses, we know our triggers, things that trigger us. So you understand yourself. If you're prone to feeling one kind, feeling unwholesome, feeling a certain kind of way, you identify the triggers and avoid them. There are some people that their triggers is maybe when somebody touch them somewhere or in a certain way. They feel excited, both male and female. They feel excited. So maybe for a female, if a man touches you in a certain kind of way, or for a man, if a lady touches you in a certain kind of way, innocent, innocuous touch. I don't mean sexual touch now. Maybe the person will just pass and just touch you like this or touch you like this or hug you. You start feeling excited, especially if you like the person. You start feeling excited. So when you understand that you are prone to such kind of feeling, you're prone to such kind of feeling, you take care of yourself. So you know the triggers, what triggers that kind of feeling, and avoid them. You know triggers and avoid them. So that is one way you can stay pure. The first way is to identify your purpose, understand your identity and your purpose. The second way is know the triggers, know yourself, understand yourself, because you can't lie to yourself. That is true. Unless you're not serious with your life, but you can't lie to yourself. So once you know that you have a reason, God called you for something, you will be truthful to yourself. So you understand your triggers, or you can even have accountability partners, some people that know you and understand your triggers and stay clear of them. Some people is when you are nice to them, because I have somebody that I know. She's a very emotional person. So once you start asking after her, how are you doing? Once you start showing care, that's her love language. Her love language is action. What is it called? Care, action, something care anyway. So once you start showing care to her, once you start asking after her, or you start checking up on her, she feels drawn to you. She feels so, wow, hey, he likes me. That is her. That is hers. That's her trigger. So it's not left for her to understand that trigger, so that she will not fall into sin. So she understand the trigger and stay clear of it, so that her feeling or her emotion will not lead her into something that she cannot come out from. In fact, so far God has been saving her and be protecting her, that the people that come her way, even those that want to what is it called now? Those that want to take advantage of that. God has been really helping her, that shielding her anyway. Although one came close, but he didn't succeed. Yeah, he didn't. He really tried. He tried everything, though, to just break her. He didn't succeed because she's quite stubborn anyway. So you understand your triggers and avoid them. Understand your triggers. Some people use movies. Maybe when they watch some movies where they are maybe romantic, all these romantic movies. As they're watching it, they feel excited. They start imagining. Some people have books, all those romantic books that we used to read in secondary school. Those fictional, books that you that is written and that is a lie. That's not possible. So all those books, all those movies, some people music. Yeah, some people will listen to some kind of music and they will feel excited. They will listen to some kind of movie, kind of conversations. Some people, when they are in a place where the conversation is somehow, because there are some places you will be, as a Christian, you should be careful of where you go. You should be careful of the conversation you have. You should be careful of what you say and where you are found, because you can't be everywhere. You can't be everywhere. You're not allowed to be everywhere, because if you're everywhere, you're going to have problems. You're going to have problems because the chances of you falling into sin, if you're found everywhere, it's going to be heightened. It's going to be heightened. I have this group of colleagues at work that anytime you're in their presence, like maybe you're passing and you just came to greet them, anytime they are gathered, that this same group of people, there is nothing wholesome coming out of their mouth. Everything they're saying has sexual innuendos. Everything they are saying has a sexual undertone. So just imagine if you're somebody that, those kind of conversation gets you, trigger you, and you know what you're expected to do. You know your purpose. You can't afford to be there. If it's a place where you can live, if it's a place where you can exit, gracefully leave that place. If it's a place where you cannot live, you have earphones. Block your ears with earphones. See my earphones? I don't go anywhere without them. I love earphones. In fact, that is after chargers. What I love next are earphones. So use your earphones and block out that conversation. And be careful of the books you read. Be careful of what you put in. Be careful of the videos you watch, the movies you watch, what you do, the way you feel when you're alone. Yes, the way you feel when you're alone. So those feelings that come up, you're human. Yeah, you're human. You're not a tree. And at some point, especially if you're getting older, before you're not a child again, you might feel some certain kind of way. You might feel some excitement, and it's not a sin. It's not a sin. When it's a sin is when you not act on that feeling. You act, go into sin. When you allow that feeling to lead you into sin. Yes. Yeah. When you allow that feeling to lead you into sin, that's where it becomes a problem. So acknowledge the feelings, but don't dwell on them. Look for something else to distract yourself. And there's a way the mind works. If you distract yourself with something, maybe you carry a book and start reading, or you carry your Bible and start reading, you start playing music, all those music that will really help you, get into that atmosphere. So once you start listening to such things, start reading the Bible, start listening to the Bible, or all those feelings will just take back seat. And the mind works in that kind of way that even when the feelings want to come again, your brain is already wired to that. Your brain is already wired in a way that if that feeling comes again, there is something you have that will just use to dampen it. So that is it. Just know your triggers and avoid them. Know your triggers and avoid them. Know those things that trigger you and avoid them. So you set boundaries. Set boundaries. I have about 2 videos talking about boundaries. So check my channel. You see about 2 videos talking about boundaries. Okay, the second one will go up tomorrow. So you set boundaries, set digital boundaries, set emotional boundaries, set physical boundaries. So you check yourself, know what you are, know the things that move you. Like that, my friend, I told you that she's an emotional person. It's not left for her to set emotional boundaries. It's not left for her to set boundaries for herself. Set boundaries that will protect her heart, so that she doesn't fall into what she doesn't want to fall into. That will be later leads to regret. So you set boundaries. You set boundaries and you enforce them. Set boundaries. You set your boundaries. You communicate your boundaries and enforce your boundaries. You also cultivate godly relationships. Like I said, your friends, the group of people you associate with, will actually help you or destroy you. I'm not saying that you shouldn't talk to people. Talk to people. But let those in your closest circle, let those within you, those closer to you, be those with like minds, those that are, you're speaking the same language with them. Not those that you're not saying the same thing. So let it be those with like minds. So you cultivate godly relationships, godly friendships. You stay accountable. Have an accountability partner. It can be as a mentor or as a friend, a trusted friend. So you have accountability partners, stay accountable, have godly relationships, godly friendships, godly relationships. It's going to help you. And above all, in all, as you're having godly relationships and know your triggers and being accountable, feed yourself, feed your mind with the scriptures. That is the way you can, that is one way you can take care of this. So you feed your mind with the scriptures. So these are the ways, the practical ways that you can maintain sexual purity in today's hypersexualized world. So when somebody, you know that this person, anytime you see the person, what all the thing is in his mind is something dirty, something that you're not interested in, something that you shouldn't be listening to, and you know that this is what the person always does. It's not left for you to either be with that person or avoid that person. Yeah. It's not for you to either be with the person or avoid that person. So for your own good, it's better for you to avoid such a person or such people or such things, such community. Yes. You avoid them and just maintain your sexual purity. Yes, as you're feeding yourself with the scriptures, filling your mind with the scriptures. So once somebody, all the things the person talk, anytime the person sees you, the person be touching you in a certain kind of way, you'll be like, from where to where? I would say from where to where, through which means how? When did it start? So you warn I'll warn you, give you serious warning. No, I don't appreciate being touched that way. Yes, I don't appreciate being touched. Please stop it. And once you say the first time, I say the second time, and the person continues, you now know that you're going to take drastic measure. I did it to somebody. Anytime he sees me, he'll be acting in a certain kind of way. I was like, what is this one? When did this one start? He will just be acting somehow. I just left him. I was just watching him. I was like, maybe it's just one of those things. I was watching him. And the thing continued. One day, this one happened in the public presence of other people were there. He acted that way again. I said, see, I will insult you. As I told you. I said, I don't want to insult you. Since then, this happened This happened 2021. Yeah. This happened to, 2025. Since then, anybody sees me, he respects himself. That's just that sentence alone. I said I will insult you. I don't want to insult you. So once you have your boundaries, you enforce your boundaries, the people that you associate with, your friends, the people that you know this is your boundary. There are some things that they can't bring to you. There are some things that they can't say where you are. If you want to say, you say, she's here. People should keep quiet. When she leaves, you can say it, or he's here. Before he return to preacher. So there are some things that once your boundaries are clear, they are there and they are clear, and you're enforcing them part time, every situation. You're enforcing your boundaries. People that people will respect themselves around you. So, sorry, I want to check something. To check on a message if I had messages. So you understand your feelings, know those things that make you feel some certain kind of way, those scenarios, and don't place yourself in scenarios whereby you'll be questioning some questionable scenarios or some questionable circumstances. Yeah, some questionable circumstances. You went to visit a friend, a female friend, as a man. You went to visit a female friend and you went alone, and you know that this lady is living alone. She's not living with somebody, and you go to her house. You go alone, and you people are in the room. You will now stay there 2 hours, 3 hours. So you avoid such situations, such circumstances, such scenarios. You avoid them by all means. So don't place yourself in a place where temptation is heightened. Yeah, don't put yourself in a situation where temptation is heightened. So if you're in a place and temptation is heightened, leave that place. So maybe it's when they go to maybe a party or a club and they see all the things that are happening there. They'll start once you're somewhere and your body change, both male and female. This thing is not just male, so it happens to both male and females. So once you're somewhere or you're doing something and you just have some tingling feeling that should not be there, some feelings that shouldn't be there, pack your load, pack your property, and make a very graceful exit. Very, very graceful exit to save yourself and your future. So you avoid situations and scenarios. I'm looking for better lighting. You avoid situations and scenarios that heighten temptation. So places that will make you to feel a certain kind of way, places that will make you to feel, the temptation heightened, you avoid them. You avoid them and stay clear of them. So that is one way you can, live a sexually pure life in this community or in this culture of casual dating, culture of hypersexualization. Everybody you see is living with a man. Cohabitation is now too much. A lot of people have found themselves in situationships. Situationships, it's not really a relationship, and it's not a platonic relationship, and it's not, but something is going on there. So that is a situationship. So you try as much as possible to avoid it. It's going to even be a hassle. It's going to be a hassle. It's going to be a lot of stress for you. Yes, it's going to be a lot of stress for you if you don't take care of that. Because time will come whereby you have to ask the person, what are we really? Imagine your someone was telling me one time. I call him, he's an uncle anyway. It's not my uncle, but he's old enough to be my uncle. So he was telling me one time that he was just complaining. He was complaining and murmuring and grumbling. I said, what's the matter? What are you complaining about? He said, can you imagine this lady, this girl? I said, what happened? What did she do? He said, can you imagine that she went and married somebody else? I said, I don't understand. What do you mean by she went and married somebody? She should not marry again. He said, that's somebody that was planning to marry. I said, you're planning to marry the person. Who the person is that was aware that you're planning to marry her? And that she did not know. I was like, I don't understand. She doesn't know how. You didn't tell her anything. Say no, that he didn't tell her that, but they have an understanding. I said, it's only you that had the understanding. She didn't have the understanding with you. Say, but I've been buying her things, getting her nice things. I said, anybody can get anybody nice things. That does not mean that you're in a relationship. You didn't say anything. You didn't say anything. So you have to say something for her to know. And she's a lady. So she can't ask you out. It's you that should ask her out. So don't feel this way. Don't feel entitled. On the wedding day, you prepare and go for her wedding. He said he's not going to go. He's not going to. I said you must go. I say if you like somebody, you tell the person now. How can you just keep quiet and say you have an understanding? It's you that had the understanding. The person didn't have the understanding with you. So you can't just conclude that the person have an understanding and you have an understanding and just like that. So you define your relationships. Yes, define so that you don't find yourself in situationships or situations that you cannot explain. Yeah. Don't find yourself in situations that you can't give account that you can't explain. So be careful. Above all, be careful of your triggers. Your triggers. There are some people, there's a book by Gary Chapman, five love languages. So you understand your love language, understand those things that make you tick, those things that tickle your fancy, those things that you love. You love when somebody's doing it for you. So you understand it. And be careful so that it doesn't lead you to sin. Careful so it doesn't lead you to sin. Because some people, their own love language is physical touch. Yeah, physical touch. So once you understand that this is your love language, and if I'm not careful, it's going to lead me into sin, you tone it down. Tone it down. My mom one time, before I got married, so I don't know what we are talking about. I think when I was in courtship, with my husband. So I forgot what we are talking about. I was discussing with my mom. She now say, you know that you like when people touch you. I didn't even know I didn't know my love language was physical touch. But it was along the line I remember, okay, I'm a hugger. Yeah. I like hugging people. And I like being hugged. Not everybody that will hug me. There are some people that when you come my way, I will just shift. I won't even allow you to touch me. But the people that people I am attuned to, people that I like, yeah, I like to hug them. So men is side hug, obviously, but ladies is full blown hugs. So my mom now told me, say you know that you like being touched. Yeah, that's what she used. You like being touched, but me, I don't like being touched, but I like being hugged. You see how complicated it is. So say be careful. Oh. This one you are doing courtship now. Be careful so that you don't fall into sin. Remember, I was like, Mommy, what are you saying? From where to where? That's why she just dropped it. So when you understand your love language, those things that trigger you, those things that you like, there's the way he will talk to you, you will melt. There's the way he will speak to you, you feel, oh wow, oh nice. Or as a lady, she's always coming to your house to help you do your laundry, to help you cook. Help you do things. You be like, wow, she loves me. You have to be careful so that that's something else. That thing will not turn into something else. You not turn into something else. Because when they start asking you for favors that you can't give, that's when you know that you would have created a boundary. You would have created a demarcation. You would have created a restriction. You would have fenced yourself and gated your life. So it's better for you, even as a person, whether you're in a relationship or not. Yes, whether you're in a relationship, even before you enter into a relationship, it's better for you to have your boundaries. So, better for you to have your boundaries so that nobody will take you for a ride or take you for granted or do what they like with you or to you. Yes, when you enter the relationship. So, when you have your boundaries and you communicate your boundaries, you enforce them, you will save yourself from a lot of problems, save yourself from a lot of issues. So you understand your triggers, understand those things that spoil you, understand those things that make you feel a certain kind of tingling way, and avoid them. So that you don't fall into sin. And if somebody is getting so close, somebody that I'm not going to marry you. Even if I'm going to marry you, we're not married. So, and the person is getting so attached, so somehow, it's better for you to just cut that. If it's a friendship, cut that friendship. Let it be a thing of the past, so that you don't give yourself problem. Don't give yourself problem. That's basically it. So you don't give yourself problem. So that is it for practical ways to maintain sexual purity in a high pass. Sorry. I don't know why my life suddenly cut off. I just hope it's there. So in addition to what I was saying about how to stay sexually pure, you can't just do what people are doing because they are doing it, or because it's a norm, in quote, or because that's what is obtainable. If you live your life that way, if you live your life because if you live your life because things that is what is obtainable, you're going to have issues with yourself. You're going to live a life of regret. You're going to live a life of regret in the long run. There's one thing with trends. The trends, they come and go. They don't stay. They're not. They don't stay for long. So they will come and go. And once they go, there are some trends. There are some trends that people engaged in. I mean, social media trends that people engaged in. That's up till tomorrow, they are regretting it. Up to tomorrow, they are regretting it. So don't do things because other people are doing it, because that's what people do. You can't just, it's not, you can't do that anyway. You can't do that. So you be careful of what you do, who you associate yourself with. Who you, you can't just be doing what you want to do or what people are doing so that you feel among. It's a waste of time and it's a waste of purpose. Yeah. So let's go to the fourth question that I have. The next question that I have: is it possible to be single and still feel fulfilled and purposeful? Yes, it's possible to be single and still feel fulfilled and purposeful. Like I said, you are first a human being. You're first a human before you became a single, or before you became married. So you can still be single and fulfill your purpose. And absolutely, you can. So, in fact, when you have that idea, when you have that understanding that it's very possible for you to, feel fulfilled and be purposeful as a single, you're going to live a life of purpose. You won't waste your time dwelling on what if or what would have, something like that. So you can live a life of purpose even as a single. You can live a life of purpose. You can live a fulfilled life as a single. So when you are single, that's when you should walk in purpose. You walk in purpose. Your purpose, your identity. Yeah, your identity depends on your yeah. Your identity depends on your understanding of who you are in Christ. Yes, yeah, yes, yes. Or let me put it this way: fulfillment comes from your identity. Yes, fulfillment comes from your identity and not from your relationship status. So your first identity is first, you're a child of God. That's your first identity. You're a child of God. So what comes from understanding of your identity, understanding of who you are, your purpose on earth. And once you understand your purpose, and once you understand who you are, and you understand your purpose, you're going to live a life of fulfillment. You're going to live a life of impact, a life of transformation. So we have many examples of people that live the fulfilled life in the Bible. I mean, single people that live the fulfilled life in the Bible. We have Paul, we have Elijah, and we have people, even people in contemporary times. We have Catherine Kuhlman. I think she was married. I've not really read about her, but I think she was married. Something happened along the line. But when she became, when people really knew her, knew her well, she was single in the Bible. That was married, her husband died, she was a widow. And she was chosen to be among those that will see the Savior. We have John the Baptist. Although his life was short, his life wasn't really short. His life wasn't really short, but it's not as long as we expected. Hey, let me put it that way. It's not as long as we expected, but he fulfilled purpose. He came, did what God called him to do. Did what God called him to do. So that is justice. So you understand that you have a reason for being alive. When you understand that you have a reason for being alive on earth, you have no choice than to go after destiny, go after purpose, go after, doing something for God. Go after doing something for God. That is just it. So that is it. So it's possible for you to be single and still live a fulfilled life and still live a purposeful life. Because you have to understand who you are. Understand who you are, what you're called to do, before you can now know how to feeling them. So that is the beauty of you being single. It's as a single that you understand your purpose, or not when you're married. Because when you're married, you have a lot of responsibilities. A lot of things will cloud your mind for you to be able to, really know what God called you to do. So if you've not subscribed to the channel, like I've been saying, if you've not subscribed, do well to subscribe. You that hit that bell notification. So whenever I drop a new video, you'll be among the first person to know about it. My name is Praise God. Anti-praise. That's what most of the single sisters call me, anti-praise or sister praise. Yeah, so that is it for question number 4. That is, it's possible for you to live a single life and also fulfill purpose, fulfill destiny, and make impact. In fact, it's as a single that you even have time. You have time to make impact. As a single, you have time for service. As a single, you have time for kingdom advancement. As a single, that you have time to, maybe you feel like going to the orphanage to maybe for your birthday celebration, or you can just wake up one day and decide to go for a 3 days retreat. You can't do that when you're married without taking permission or informing people, and you book it in advance. But if you're single, you just call your parents. Hello, mom, dad, my phone will be off from tomorrow till Saturday. I'm going for a personal retreat. You just go. Nobody will be hounding you to, when are you coming back? The children are missing you. Or we are missing you. So that's, man, it's something that should be maximized. Something that should be, you use it to its potential. Use it to its maximum potential. So we are going to end this question and answer session here. Next week we'll continue from where we stopped, because I don't want this life to be so long. This is my first life, by the way. So I just hope that it's going to go into people's life and make a difference. So if you have any questions for me, whenever it is you're going to watch this video, whenever it is this life is going to come across your feed. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section, and I will do well to give answers to the question. I'm going to drop the link to that, my community I was talking about, the Hevzibah community WhatsApp. I'm going to drop the link in the description box, and also I'll pin it as the first comment you will see. So next week, or next time, it can still be this week. No, Can't be this week. I'm very busy this week. So next time we're going to continue from where we stopped. So until I come your way again, my name is Praise God. See you in my next video. So watch out for the video that I said is dropping tomorrow. How to set boundaries that really work. Because the video before it was talking about boundaries, what boundaries are. So we're going to talk about how to set boundaries that really work. So you subscribe and turn on the bell notification so that when that video drops, you'll be among the first person to, to be notified to watch the around this time tomorrow. Yeah, so see you there. See you in that video. And remember, stay impactful, stay purposeful, and go after destiny. Don't waste your time pursuing relationship that you know that this relationship is not going anywhere. Or you put all your resources in a relationship that you know that is not defined. You don't know you don't know what the relationship is. And if you don't know what a relationship is, you possibly can't know where it's going to. Yeah. You can't know where it's going to. So you have to know what a relationship is before you can now say, okay, this is where this relationship is going to. So that's just the beauty of the whole thing. That's the beauty of, having that understanding. Having that understanding. So see you in the video. Bye-bye.